Master Alan said that he was bringing a surprise, something very British. I think I can hear it coming now. Oh, it's the Jaguar F-Type R Dynamic P450 Coupe.
Did I, or did I not, bring you an absolute cracker?
Peach of a car.
It is a peach. Now, David, I've had this car for a week. You haven't driven it, so you are in for a treat, I promise you. So we've got three models. We've got a coupe and a convertible of this, the P450.
R Dynamic.
R Dynamic. But we also have the R version, which has even more power.
331 in the base model, kilowatts, and that's 580 Newton meters. That's like a V8 SUV.
I put my foot down the other day, David, and night turned back into day as the Earth spun in the opposite direction. Did you notice it?
Yes.
But the R's got even more power.
423 kilowatts and 700 Newton meters of torque.
What the hell are you going to do with it? And the 0 to 100 is what,
3.9.
3.9. And we've reviewed this car several times. I've always liked it, but the one thing, David, that I didn't like...
The lights on the front.
I did not like the headlights at all. That's been fixed with this updated model. That they've got this beautiful slim headlight now instead of going up the bonnet. Also, this has got the matrix lights as well, matrix LED lights. Not only were the front lights changed, but the back lights were changed as well. Instead of having the semicircle design at the bottom, they've now got that squared off. And in case you forget what you're in, a big P450 badge. Massive, massive soup cans for exhausts, and you've got 4 of them. Now, in addition to the external button, that's the one you press when it's outside, it's got a second button down here to lower it when you want to close the boot from the... Why not have... I don't understand why you wouldn't just have one button. Why have 2, not even 20 centimetres away from each other? Now, we've got a couple of things here in the boot, David. What I want you to do is go in there and try and get out the puncture repair kit for me.
Okay.
There we go.
A long but very narrow boot.
Yes. Stay focused, stay focused. This is going to take some doing. Get that out of the way. That's it.
Sorry. Now I...
Yep, now you got to... No, you got to... You'll have to do the... No, you try lifting it from the back. There we go. But now you've got to slide it up. And all of that just so we can get at this, the puncture repair kit. But have a look at this. This clamshell bonnet opens
hydraulics.
up, and it's on struts. I mean, you know, what a revelation. You can see the inside of the vents here. But look, this is the supercharged 5-litre V8. There is not a lot of room. Looking down from the top, it just barely fits in between the suspension towers. And this is the catch for the bonnet. David, what's this?
Pedestrians. If a pedestrian hits there, airbag goes off, bonnet goes up a bit, and so the bonnet is not right on the engine, so it gets a bit more trampoline effect.
Now, oddly, although these wheels are 20-inch, the same as the standard wheels, David, these are an option.
They are the spoke design that is different from the standard, but Alan, I'd have to say that's fairly traditional look.
Tell me the price, son, the price.
We have paid, or they have paid, $1,790 extra for the different look of wheels.
Blimey, and now that's on top of the $159,900 plus on roads.
Plus on roads.
We've got how many? About 10 grand's worth of options on this car. There's a lot of things that are not included even in that options pack. For example, and we'll cover that when we get out on the road, the cruise control is standard cruise control. It's not even fancy radar cruise control. And the blind spot, the active blind spot, so it's got blind spot monitor, but the active bit that steers you out of the way, that's an option.
Yes, and is rear traffic monitor, red seat belt, privacy glass, knurled aluminium centre console.
Oh, I like a knurl as much as the next person, but not as a bloody option. Put it in standard. How much can it cost, for God's sake? This cabin is bijou. In fact, it's bijou AF. If you want to know what that means, Google it. The glass roof, I think, does intrude a little tiny bit into the sides, but of course up here there's quite a bit of headroom. And there's a cover. Can't close it at the moment, of course, because the camera's attached to the glass. The other thing is, have a look at this, David, have a look at this. You turn that on, so I've just turned the fan on. It is fully automatic, but because old Mrs. Grundy over here likes it warmer and I like it cooler, we've got to have it on manual, because if you put it on automatic, you won't be able to hear ourselves think.
Isn't it nice to have dual climate control?
Well, it would be if it was standard.
Yeah.
That, of course, is extra. And I'll put a full list of the extras in the written story, and there's a link to that below in the comments. The other thing is, there's a row. I won't go into this too much because I've gone into this pretty thoroughly in our other F-Type videos. A lovely start of this knurled feel to the trim. Drive mode's here.
Is that what knurled means?
Yeah, sort of knurled look. A few buttons below that, we've got the traction control off. David, please do not press that button under any circumstances. There's buttons for the exhaust to make it a little bit louder. And there's also a button for the little flap on the back, which raises that up a little bit like a Porsche 911. Well, the other thing is this has a solar attenuated windscreen, and I had to really hunt to find a place to put my GPS dash cam. You can hear that beautiful engine. It's just an absolute triumph. Triumph, Dave. Well, it's a Jaguar, actually. Did you get it?
Yes, yes.
So I whipped it quickly into sport mode, which is a dynamic. Just take it nice and easy. I'm going to switch the gears over as well. Now, it's doing its own thing, and it does a pretty good job of selecting which gear to go into. You heard that extra little bit of sauce coming from the exhaust, David?
It's from an 8-speed automatic.
That's just extraordinary. Beautiful.
And of course, once you get up to a bit of a rev, there's that very distinctive change, up or down.
Yeah. Well, bimodal exhaust. Although, you know, it's exhaust, that would be exhaustism if I preferred one over the other. Yeah. Now, oddly, I made this comment to you before we started filming, that the suspension feels very firm when you're not cornering like this. When you are cornering like this, it feels a little bit soft. Do you see what I mean?
There's a stop-start light.
Oh, geez, doesn't that sound good? But did that get to 110 in first?
It wasn't first, I think it was more likely second.
Oh, was it?
I was going out of manual control there.
Oh, right. You'll notice that the cabin noise is fairly intrusive on this coarse chip road.
Well, it is the coarse chip road.
Oh, absolutely. We're about to go smooth now, and
better.
It is quite, well, it is better, but, you know, I mean, really. But the tyres are a mere schmear. I've pointed out that this infotainment system, you're just showing off now. You just like that sound. The infotainment system is the older version, but the more modern version of it still has the same size screen, not like in the other Jaguars that we've had. If you want to go into sport mode in the transmission, just switch it over.
Oh, you did that,
Yep.
right.
And that's put it into sport mode, and it does hold the gears a little bit longer, keeps them in low longer than it normally would if I pushed it over into drive. So shall I push it into drive? And now it's just in normal mode. So now that you've driven 3 kilometres, what do you think?
I'm very comfortable in this, Alan.
Seats, how do you find the seats?
Good.
They're
good
supportive.
Support, some support on the side too.
Which I really desperately needed in some of those corners, because you did give it what I want to call the beans. I've got rather a good video on the making of this thing, and it shows the Leaper and the Growler emblems. shows the car being put together. It's made of exotic materials like aluminium and little bits of Hurst and Dunst. But it's the performance and it's the handling that this car is famous for. And it's a peach.
And its looks.
Panty-wettingly beautiful. Panty-wettingly beautiful. But of course it has come time
Indeed.
where you must hit like.
Leave a comment.
And above all, over there, to subscribe.